Good evening, myself Graham here from Rand Nerds.
Zabermoul.
Welcome to episode 236 of the Rand Nerds podcast. How are you today, Zaber?
I'm all right. Bit tired, but all right.
Good. Yeah, here's the main thing.
So if I start snoring, I told you I was tired.
You can't snore until you finish editing it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Fuck. Totally forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Today's episode is sponsored by... It's not sponsored. I wish it was. Because I'm having my favorite beer of all times. It's a beer. Well, people can see it that are actually
but the audio listeners, Zaber.
Yeah, the audio listeners cannot see this, but it's a beer pronounced in Danish. It's called Svanike, and it's a beer from Bornholm, which is to the east side of the country, it's an island below Sweden.
Right.
And this beer is absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorites. Well, it is my favorite. So.
What sort of strength is it?
Not a hell of a lot. It's like I can actually say, because now I have my glasses on. But 4.6. So it's not a hell of a lot.
No, it's not. It's not what we'd call, well, not so much these days, but in the old days, anything below 4% we'd call a driving beer.
Driving beer?
If it's below 4%, you call it a driving beer. Not so much these days.
In Denmark, that would be a retake your driver's license beer. No, that's not. I think you could drive. I think you could drive on one of these. Although I think it's almost what you'd call a pint size.
Isn't the limit quite low in Denmark for drink driving?
0.5.
Yeah, I think
0.5 and above, you're fucked.
I think we're 0.8. I think.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are either lucky or you don't value life all that much.
Bit of both. A bit from column A, a bit from column B, Zaber.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got told off from one of the previous podcasts. I got told off.
One or the last one before?
The one we did after New Year's. I got told off.
By who?
Because by my sister watched it, and apparently I got several. I was giving you details about Guy Fawkes and hand-drawn quartering, all that sort of stuff. Apparently, I got quite a few bits wrong, and she rang me up furious at my historical inaccuracy.
Dude, how could you? How could you?
I was like, I don't
like.
Really...
First of all, you was wrong. Second of all, you disappointed your sister. I don't know which one is worse, to be honest.
It again, a little from column A, a little from column B. It's hard to tell which one's worse. But yeah, do you know what? I'm going to leave it as an exercise to the listener to try and work out what I was wrong on. It's basically a little bit. Yeah,
where the hell are they going to comment on this shit? They're going to find a YouTube video.
We've got Brandon
It's been flagged.
Yeah, it's been flagged. This YouTube video contains misinformation and may be inaccurate.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Apparently, hung-drawn quartering, I was mostly right, except that I thought quartering meant you got tied to a horse and ripped into four. Apparently, no, it just meant you got cut into four and moved to different parts of the city. Which I thought was...
What? You get cut into four and get moved into different parts of the city?
My argument is this, though, right? You've got to be, at some point, you've got to be put into quarters, be moved to different parts of the city. Therefore, my horse method is perfectly valid. So... Can you prove it didn't happen? No.
Well, wanting to be right and being right are two completely different things, dude.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. But you know,
I'm just gonna come up with arguments to like prove my point, so I wasn't wrong at all.
Watch yourself. Yeah, I was totally correct in all matters. So it realistically is history that's wrong. Realistically, in this scenario,
Of
as you
course it
looked at it,
is.
yeah,
Of course it is,
yeah.
dude. Yeah.
I'm taking a sort of like a page out, sort of like the American Republic, but just rewrite history and say what I say is correct. Everybody else is wrong. It's a textbook.
Oh no. So
Textbooks.
on fakenews.net, everyone is flaming the shit out of rand nerds
Yeah.
for misinforming people on their podcasts.
Yep.
What the hell?
Snoops.com will have a message about it soon.
Yeah. And Trump's not gonna like it.
Oh, I'm sure he hates Snoops.com. I think they used to have a feel. There was I can't remember which newspaper it was. There was a newspaper that was like, it was going through and basically like every time I saw Trump gave a speech, you'd go through and like fact check it. And it got to the stage where they were just like, we can't keep up because there's so much wrong here.
They're like employing 50 people on full time to be able to check up on all this shit.
Yeah, yeah, that's wrong. No, that's a lie. That's not true. That's wrong. That's wrong. It's like we can't. We haven't so much space in the newspaper to print the corrections. Oh dear. So what have you been up to then, Zaber?
Oh, dude, so much.
Oh.
I don't even know where to begin. I've done nothing gaming related whatsoever. Again, I've been busy as hell. Although this has been good things. I've been to two concerts since last podcast. 2 concerts, dude.
2 concerts.
2 concerts.
Wow.
So the Sunday after the podcast, the previous podcast, I went to we went to the capital, Copenhagen. That's about maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours by train.
Oh.
We went to.
You must be quite far. You must be then quite far away from the capital because Denmark's not a huge country, so you must be quite far away from it.
Well, to see the country's like split into like 3 chunks.
Right.
Well, 4 if you count Bornholm, yeah, where the beer was from, yeah. But so we have like the most western portion of it is called Jylland. That's where I live. Then you have like a little bubble in the middle. That's called Fyn. And you have to then go over like to the island, and then from the island over to the next island, which is called Sjælland. And that's where Copenhagen is, all the way to the east side of that. So yeah, so we're far off, but it's yeah. So we went to see one of my favorite bands of all time, called Periphery, with support from a band I had never heard before actually. I think they're so Periphery. They're from the U.S. But Crooked Royales, which was their support, I believe they were from New Zealand. They were quite interesting. And this was a place I've never been before. Me going to capital. I don't think I've actually. Well, besides going to Copenhagen in 2023, which in my book don't count as going to the capital almost, because we were at the festival, nowhere else. I think I have to go back to like 2000, maybe 1998 or something like that. I haven't been there since, like, so I haven't been there in many years. So we went there for this gig. I've never been to like, well, with the exception of Copenhagen, I haven't been there for any concerts ever. So this was huge for me, going there, especially with the anxiety and whatnot. So we went, and the first band, Crooked Royales, were on stage. I was like, it's all right. It's pretty good. But I was a little, maybe the sound could have been a little better. So I was a little worried when my favorite band, Periphery, was getting on stage. But dude, that was next level. The sound, everything was spot on. like I go as far as say that's the best concert I've ever been at. It was
Oh wow.
so good. I think some of that, of course, is like amplified. Is that what it's called? Like amplified because I love the band to begin with. But dude, that was awesome. That was really really cool. Um, Periphery is a very, how do you say, technical band. Um, and yeah, their music is very technical. It's but it's really cool because it has this really really catchy elements to it as well, especially with vocals. Um, so yeah, it's really really cool. So yeah, we went to that, and then so this Monday, so that would be 8 days after that. We went to the capital again. uh, this was an even bigger event because I think globally the band we went to see, or the bands we went to see, are bigger than Periphery is. But so the second venue we went to was with a British band actually called Architects.
Mm. You
They are
mentioned them when you talked about Copenhagen. I think you talked about
exactly
them.
because they were supposed to be at Copenhagen. They had to cancel due to too much rain on the stage, because a lot of their back gear and all they have like a lot of technical mumbo jumbo with them on stage and on the back end of things, and if that gets wet it gets ruined like that. So yeah, so all their gear they were worried about that, so they had to cancel. Because of that, this event then got put on calendar, and everyone that had tickets to Copenhagen then got access to these tickets a day in advance of everyone else. So me and my friend, we went and ordered tickets for this as soon as they were available, and yeah, it's so we went, and so they were supported by two other bands. This was a bigger event. I think the first event we was at was like maybe 1,000 to 1,200 people in the audience. This was about 3,000
Oh wow.
people for this event. Yeah, I've seen Architects like from concerts with like thousands and thousands of people. These guys are huge, like massive. Um, but these guys were backed up. So the first on stage was another British band. I believe they're from the UK, called Loathe.
Loathe.
Uh, yeah, Loathe.
Let me
Uh,
have a quick Google for you.
yeah. But that band, I've been a fan of those for years. I think I've listened to their stuff for many years now, and it's really good.
Yeah, they are UK. Yep, you're
Yeah,
right.
and then seeing them live, dude. Oh my god, that was awesome. So they have like their guitarist also sings a little bit here and there, but the main vocalist in that band, dude, that guy, he can scream. He can really really growl his ass off. He's an absolute monster. That was so enjoyable to see and hear. Um, and then after they were, I think they played for only like 35 minutes or something like that. They didn't play for that long. Second up, we had a band from the US called Spirit Box. They also play. I think I mentioned those as
Yes,
well
you did
because
talk about them.
yeah, they played at Copenhagen as well. But seeing them for the second time, dude, that was awesome. They had all these kind of like graphical elements on in the back and whatnot, like video style stuff going on. It was really really cool. Their sound, okay, out of all three bands, I think because, and I'll get into why, but Spirit Box had the best audio of all three of them. Uh, Architects, third and final band, the reason they don't score the highest, first of all, their audio was insanely loud, and could kind of like get the hint that there was like too much compression going on. So everything was fighting like for headroom. It was hard to hear the guitars. Their vocalist though, dude, Sam from Architects, he is a beast. He is an absolute beast. He is so awesome, and his stage presence is amazing. And on top of that, something I didn't know about him, he actually he suffers from a lot of anxiety and whatnot. Like he gets therapy for it and all that stuff. He had a meltdown. Well, not I wouldn't say that meltdown. Sorry, Sam, but he had a panic attack on stage.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he started crying on stage actually, and started apologizing for it. And everyone just started making hearts and whatnot, and you know, we love you and all this stuff, and he got through the rest of the concert. He actually said on stage that he'd been fearing that he knew that this was going to happen at some point during the tour, and I think a couple of years back, I vaguely because I think this is like they canceled this year on because of the weather for Copenhagen. I think the year before they were supposed to be there as well, and I'm if I don't. People quote me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe Architects actually had to cancel like half of their tour. I wonder if that has something to like with his anxiety and his mental state, something to do with that or something else. I don't know. But Architects, they lost a guitar, like one of their band members. I can't remember what he died from, but yeah, they lost one of their guitarists in their band, which hit him really, really hard.
Yeah, it would mess you up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like those guys are like family. They're on the road and all this stuff, and I believe this guy, that guitarist was like the main guy that wrote their tunes. So they had to like rework themselves. They used to be a lot more metal than they are now. Where now they're more, I don't know, they're more commercial, I'd say. Like they you know, it's more, they hit wider because everything is more suited to the vocals rather than everything else. But it's such a good band, and I have mad respects for Sam going through the rest of the concert with him having a panic attack. And he thanked everyone. Like when they had like 2 songs left, he was like thanking everyone for being patient with him. And it's like, dude, fucking everyone's here to see you guys. If you have a meltdown or if you have something going on, everyone's gonna accept that and supportive. You know.
But that's what you when you have those sort of like panic attacks. That's not what you feel. You feel you're letting. That's not how it works.
Yeah,
think, is it?
I know that because I suffer from anxiety and you know I have three diagnoses myself, so I know exactly what, like he was like, oh no, my throat feels like it's closing, like it's someone strangulating him from within, and he was like, he said at one point like my mind is screaming, run, get the hell out of here. But he stayed and he fought through it, and he you know he overcame it. And finished the gig. That was so cool, dude. That was so cool.
Oh, that's good for him.
Yeah.
Good
but
for
yeah,
him.
2 really, really, really good concerts. Well, it was more than one, but yeah, 2 really awesome evenings in the capital.
Yeah. So did you like go back and forth? Or did you stay over to go to the different ones?
No, so we had a little issues the first time around, because we went over and went home. So on the same, well, over there in the evening, and then in the afternoon and in the middle of the night home. But the problem was on the way over, we had decided that we wanted to go so we'd be there like, you know, have a little extra headroom in terms of time, so we wouldn't have to stress about getting from the what's that even called, dude? I don't even know what there is. Like the train station then to the venue.
Yeah.
Because that was further. The first gig was like the first venue was like further away. So we had to grab a cab to get there from the train station. But the train broke down on the way over there.
Oh God.
We were sat for an hour, dude, in that train, not knowing what was gonna happen.
Oh,
So what's that called? Like every train set, like every cart, is that what it's called? What it's called? Is that
I
in
call them
English?
we call them carriages, if that's what you mean.
Carriages, yes. So I think this was like, I don't know, 8 carriages or something on this train. No, it has to be more. 9 or 10 or something like that. So apparently there was something wrong with the sensors. So they had to go out and check him. And we were like, okay, cool. Why?
Okay.
Okay. So after like 15 minutes, yeah, we're still checking. All right. Another 15 minutes go by. It's like, yeah, we don't know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. After an hour, they're like, yeah, only 4 of the, what were they called? Carts again? No, what were you
Carriages.
called? Carriages, yeah. Only 4 of the carriages are allowed to continue. So we have to like unhook the other carriages so the 4 of them can continue. And then they announced everyone from the other carriages get out so we can move them away. Another train's going to come on the other side. It doesn't fit all of you, but good luck with that. You know, like, okay.
So the people with the 4 carriages, you like say, right, you're going to have to go like move to the front. It'll be a bit crowded, but we'll get you there. It's like, no, get out, standing room.
Except all of us in ours was like, because I was in one of them that could continue. But the problem was, like, all of us were saying, like, people can be stood here. Like, why are they not doing that? I don't know if there's like any safety regulations or anything like that.
There's limits to how many people they can have on a carriage, isn't there?
Yeah.
I just thought the vision of like someone going to like sort of like end of carriage number 4, opening door, say, "Yeah, guys, bye," and just putting the pin and saying bye, and just waving at them as the train drives off and just leaving them there. Oh, I don't know.
Exactly.
I find that just an amusing sight.
Oh, that's Danish trains for you, dude. That they don't give a shit. They just collect the money and then they're like, "Well, what? You're stranded? Well,
I think
buy a ticket for the next train."
I think you described railways across the world, to be fair, Zaber.
Yeah, probably. But so our headroom at this point, goodbye headroom. We're now stressed.
But look at it this way. There's a good job you had that headroom, because you had that headroom for this very specific reason.
Yes. So, we get there, and my friend, he was like, "Hey, dude, let's go to Sunset Boulevard and have a sandwich or something." It's like, we can't wait for that food, dude. We don't have time. It's like, okay, we just went to the local 7-Eleven and bought like one of them vacuum packed fucking sandwiches. I've never had a more terrible sandwich than that. It tasted like nothing. Like I couldn't even taste anything, dude. It was horrendous. We get into a cab and go out there. We had to we were stood in line to even get into the venue. We get in. We have to be stood in line again to get to hand off our jackets. Then we didn't have to stand in line to get any beer, because in Denmark we have that covered, dude. Fucking that beer everywhere. So we get a beer. We get in. We get into the concert room or whatever you call it, like where the stage is.
Yeah.
Fucking first band gets on right away. That's that's how stressful everything was. We then hadn't noticed that on the way back we had to swap trains on the way home in the middle of the night. So at 1 a.m. in the morning on the train. Get to another town. I'm not going to pronounce the name, but where we had to make the swap at 3. Now, from that spot where we got off the train, we had to get on another one. We'd only had to get on a train for another 10 minutes to be where we needed to get off, yeah? But the wait from that swap was an hour 40 minutes. We hadn't noticed when we ordered the fucking tickets.
Oh dear.
We were knackered, dude. We were so tired. Yeah. So we ended up calling up.
At that point, you're thinking, why don't we just walk it?
No, dude. That was like too many like kilometers. That would take us like 4 hours walking that. We ended up calling up the local taxi place. Be like, yeah, could you guys tell us how much roughly it's gonna cost us for a taxi from here to my friend's place? They were like, yeah, it's gonna be expensive. It's gonna be that and that. All right. Is there any possible way that we can try and get in contact with the driver of the taxi and see if we can like arrange a fixed a fixed amount we have to pay for this, rather than be like, yeah, we'll see where it ends at. So they had the taxi driver call us, and it ended up costing us 600 Danish for a taxi back to my friend's place.
So you decided not
And
to wait for the train. You went that way, yeah.
we went that route. So we just split the bill on that. So 300 each. What is that, like 70? Around 70?
Near enough. £68, it's like 66 pence. So all but £70.
Yeah. Yeah, it's we got home, went straight to bed. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep at all. So I woke
Yeah.
up again at like 9. And at this point, we were home at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
Nearly.
that's the trouble. Is you've got through sort of the low part of the day, so of the night, so you're back to all wake state. So I was like, when I used to do night shifts, I used to find that getting to once you get to about 4, once you get past all 4 o'clock, is usually all right. But so between 1 and 4 is really hard. Get past
Yeah.
4 o'clock and you're all right. You're good to go for another sort of 10 hours.
Yeah. And we'd had beer, and we're well, halfway drunk, I think, at that point when we got back home. But yeah, so next day I woke up at about 9, tried to see if I can get some more sleep, but after like just laying and tossing and turning for like 40 minutes, I decided to just get up, get ready, and get to my car and get home. So that was like an hour drive, and I was home. Yeah, and then the next, so the last venue we were at here, we had to cut it a little closer in terms of time because my friend that I went to the concert with, he was at I don't know what that's called, like school or something, like where he's under an education or something, and and that was like another part of well, further up in this part of the country. So he had to drive from there and meet me at the train station, and then go, and so not to miss out on too much of the stuff in his education.
Yeah.
We had to cut it a little, like we had to cut it short, or whatever you call it, like make it, so we got there, we got a bite, but at this time we could walk to where the venue was, and that was like a 20-minute walk, I think. And so we just brought our food along and ate it on the way there. So this time around, we decided to try and not drink too much, so we could actually drive when we got back to the other part of the country again in the middle of the night. So we landed or whatever. The train stopped at around 3:15, and then I just jumped right in my car and drove home. So an hour after that, I was home, went to bed, and yeah, I've been tired ever since.
Yeah. No big beer drinking that night then.
No, I think I only drank a couple, just to make sure that I could drive. So yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, good venues, fucking awesome concerts.
Yeah, when did I go to? I've only been to one concert in my entire life.
One.
Yeah, and it wasn't one I chose to go to. It was a case of it's a concert my sister wanted to go to, and then I can't remember if I had a choice in the matter or not. I suspect not, because I don't really remember much about it. It was a case of I sort of had to go, or maybe it was like, I was a kid at the time. It's like, concert. I honestly don't know if I wanted to go or not. And
expect another phone call after this, by the way.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's like, you already wanted to go. Yeah, and that was when was that? I'm going to say it's about 1996. So I was about 10, 11 years old.
Dude, that's ages ago, dude.
It is ages ago. Yeah, it wasn't. I wasn't saying it's one of my favourite experiences in my life, because
I remember what it was.
It was, we went to see Boyzone, which is a British.
I know Boyzone.
Yeah, that's all when all like the manufactured bands were starting to sort of come out, and the thing was all the boy bands were a big thing. My sister was really into Boyzone. Yeah, really into it, and we went. They had a concert there. We went to their concert, and Yeah, I don't think as a child I really appreciated it very much. I sort of thought to myself, well, the stages are over there. We can barely see him on a TV. You're right close to him. You can see him really clearly.
Hmm.
So TV's better in that regard. It's warmer.
Yeah.
Um, it's not
But
so
this is
hot.
an outdoor thing, yeah?
Yeah, this is outdoors. It's big.
Yeah.
It's big. I mean, from my memory, it was really big and lots of people there. But again, a long time ago, I'm probably misremembering. It's probably like a church hall somewhere. But I'm probably misremembering how big it was. Like 6 people maybe. Um, I remember as we saw like approach, there's like people selling flags. Like you could play a flag to wave on the way in. Once you got to, they're these people are geniuses. They're selling you the flag, but when you got to like sort of the gate, the bouncers, because the flags had a wooden pole, wouldn't let you take them in. So the bouncer was breaking the wooden poles off the flag, so you couldn't throw them at the stage.
Oh,
So it's like they're geniuses, those people. And
yeah.
I think the most exciting thing about the whole thing is I got one of those little like plastic things that put you on your wrist that glow.
Hmm.
I got one of those. I think that's probably the most exciting thing I remember about the whole night. I really don't remember much about it, to be honest. I don't remember the songs. I don't remember sod all really about the whole thing. Um, I want to say Take That was there as well, but I'm not sure. I might be like misremembering it. I might be completely misremembering that. So I really have no
Oh,
idea.
it makes
but,
sense.
Yeah,
Will make sense.
yeah. But that was like the only concert I've ever been to my entire life. That's
All
all put
right.
me off to forever, really. To be honest.
We need to try and change that at some point, dude. We need to try and get you to something that you like.
Yeah, see, I've wanted to go to in the UK is a thing called the Cambridge Folk Festival, which is all like
Yeah.
folk music, and I quite like folk music. And
Folk music is awesome.
yeah, and me and a friend we were discussing going to that for like a day. But my God, is it expensive?
How much is it?
It was like for like a day. It was like over like I think we looked. It was like for a day. It was like 150 quid,
100 what?
150 quid per each. It
That's
was
like, what is that in Danish? That's like
that is
13,
about
1300 or something like
yeah,
that.
about 30 Danish kroner. Yeah.
That's not bad. And if it's like an entirety, that's not bad. Like
It was a day. I
Copenhagen.
mean, it's a day long thing. So
Hmm.
yeah, the actual festival's like I won't say it's like 7-8 days long. It's a big old thing.
Yeah.
He says again. Once again, I'll be getting complaints from the folk people now. So it's not 7-8 days long. It's 9 days. You idiot.
Well, I mean, folk music is awesome, dude.
I do like
And
folk music.
then some of the I don't know so much about I haven't heard much of the British folk stuff, but I love the Irish stuff, dude. I like that.
Yeah, I do. Well, one of my favourite sort of. I mean, I call them folk bands. Is a band called the Divine Comedy.
Don't
Um,
know 'em.
No, they are one of my. They're one of the sort of food bands I've always like made a point of buying before we went digital. I always just make sure to buy all their albums.
All right.
The guy in it, Neil, who's sort of like frontlines it, Neil Hannon. He's sort of like he's done quite a few like uh films and stuff like music for films and stuff. So, have you ever seen the series Father Ted?
No.
No, okay, it won't work.
Is it a British show?
It's an Irish show.
All right. Okay. When it comes to like English, Irish stuff, I've never watched anything from Ireland. In terms of TV shows, UK stuff, I know about Barnaby.
Barnaby, do you mean what do you mean like
Inspector Barnaby or something. I think the show's just called Barnaby.
Midsummer Murders?
Yeah, something like that. I know about, and I haven't seen much from it, but I know of it, and I think that's about it.
Yeah, it's 4 days Cambridge Folk Festival. I've just googled it.
Okay. Okay.
Father Ted was a Have you ever seen Have you ever seen the It Crowd?
The what?
The IT Crowd? Have you ever seen that?
Nope.
Oh my man, we need to start sorting you out on some of these classic British comedies. The IT Crowd is quite good. It's set in a it's about an IT department in a corporate office, and it's they're sort of it's scarily accurate to what IT departments are actually like. I'll drop you some links to them. There, I mean, Father Ted's really old. That's like 90s. That is now, so it's quite old. That's worth a shot. But yeah, anyway, Neil Hayes. Well, I'll link you Divine Comedy later. I actually quite like their stuff. They are there. So the one thing I saw the pick and listen to. He's got like a comical streak as well of his music stuff. He's got some quite funny ones. There's one during the big financial crisis back in 2008. He released one called The Complete Banker.
The Complete Banker.
The Complete Banker, because obviously it rhymes with the good old British slang wanker. Okay. That's just me, the complete banker. So yeah, but yeah, that's all the sort of what I'd want to go. I feel that's if I was going to go to a fest, that's the sort of thing I'd probably want to go to. But yeah.
That sounds interesting. Like if it's like folk music, I love stuff like that as well. Like I have like my taste in music is very broad. Like
yeah. Oh yeah, I've always said if people see my music collection, I'll be surprised at how random it is. It's like I've got metal in there, I've got speed metal in there, I've got like film soundtracks, I've got folk music, got some pop in there. It's all real hodgepodge of. Basically, if I hear a song I like it, I tend to pick it up, and I don't really care like what the sort of lyrics or stuff. If I like the melody of it, the sort of rhythm of it, I tend to pick it up. So, but it's all good. It's all good. But one day maybe I might go to a festival if I can feel like spending the money on it.
maybe make a Rander's field trip.
Rander's field trip, yes. Why not? Why not? Something we can definitely look at. Good. Right, so if you've not been gaming, well, I have.
Not much.
No. Well, I have been gaming.
Awesome. What have you been playing?
Now, you probably don't. I don't know if you know this about me. I have a certain. How do we describe this? It says in sort of like a little sort of like an enjoyment of really niche simulator games. I like farming simulator, flight simulator.
I knew those two.
Yeah, well, there's quite a few other ones I've played in this whole time. So I've been playing Builder Simulator.
Builder Simulator.
It's a builder, and it's a game where you are a builder and you get to build things. But you have to
not just buildings, like things.
No, buildings. Buildings.
Right.
Yeah. So it's designed sort of be a simulator like how you build things. So like you have to dig your foundations first, then you have to shore them up, put some reinforcement in it, make some concrete up, put some concrete down, then you dig your base pad up, put some sand down, then some concrete, then some insulation, some more concrete, then you build your walls, then you install your windows and your doors, and then you install your roof panels, and then you
Oh no, dude.
Yes. And then,
oh no.
Yes. And then you install the roof, and then you do like insulation on the outside, then you plaster it, then you render the outside, plaster the walls, and you get as far as like actually sort of decorating the inside and stuff. And it's really, really fun because it's actually made by some Polish developers. Who've made a few other sort of similar games. There seems to be a thing. There seems to be a very European thing. All these like similar games. It all seems to be all around. Seem to come from like Poland, Germany, that area. They all seem to be made from those sort of places. There, it's also sort of a niche. Euro Truck Simulator. There you go. It's another simulator game from that sort of area. But I really like
Euro Truck Simulator. I think that's the only simulator I've played.
And that's a really good one.
Yeah, I like that one. I enjoyed that. We did it on the we played it here on the Randers, didn't we?
We did. There's a games night for. I'll put a link in the show notes to the games night. You can watch us try and deliver some materials and it go very badly wrong for one of us.
Yeah.
I can't
remember who it was.
No, I can't remember. I think it was Skaz, wasn't it? I'm sure it went wrong for him. Yeah, yeah.
No.
I spent an awful lot of my time in Euro Truck Simulator on my side.
Yeah, there was a few points. Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember the bit where I missed my exit on the motorway, so I just turned round on the motorway and drove back the wrong way, so I could get onto the.
Do you remember what I did when you was on your side?
You crashed into me, yes.
I tried to ram you, yeah. And I ended on my ass as well, so yeah.
All I remember you saying was, what the fuck has happened? What the hell's happened here? Where's all the traffic come from? Oh, it was you, Ram.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good game. But no, it's a real neat game. It's they've sort of like it's surprisingly detailed. It feels pretty detailed. And it looks nice. It looks pretty. It's all like this. It's got quite a few modes in it. So you've got like a standard contract mode, which is where you'll just get like a scenario you have to complete. Oh, this people just want some foundations made, so you do it on. To be honest, I got bored of contract mode because it was like really limited what they wanted you to do. So it was like you have lots more freedom. There's a sandbox mode where you can just do like, which we'll come on to a bit later. The sandbox mode sort of has links into another mode. There's one, but the thing I found the most enjoyable I picked up from it is that it's got a planner, like a floor planner. So you can go to this floor planner and you get like you pick like what size building you want. You can either have 7 by 7 meters, 16 by 16 meters, or 30 by 30 meters. And then the planner is literally like sort of you get a grid up, and it's basically you draw out your floor plan. You say, oh, I'm gonna have walls here, doorways here. Here's my divider walls inside. You basically make a floor plan, and you can have a second floor as well. So it's but that's a bit the emphasis. Or one of the things that's a bit sad about is you can have 2 floors. You can have ground and first floor. You can't have like a second floor, third floor, fourth floor, which is a bit sad. I'd like to build. I want to build a tower block. You see, and I couldn't do it because I'm gonna have 2 floors.
What about blueprinting? Like, is there that to it as well?
That's what this is. This is the planning phase. It's basically your blueprinting phase. So you draw out your building, you put where the doors are going to go, you where the windows are going to go, and once you do it,
cool.
Yes, and then you can once you save that. If you then go into sandbox mode, there's like on the start of the mission, you have like your basic tools like your concrete mix and stuff, and you get in the sandbox. You select what size plot you want to work on, 7 or 16 or 30. And then you'll be sort of spawned in the map, of which there's about 8 or 9 different maps, all very varied maps actually. There's like one that's like in Italy. There's one that's like in sort of like some American suburbs in the winter time. There's one that's in the countryside. There's one that's in a jungle. There's one on Easter Island. Yeah, it's all really varied, the maps. And they're quite big as well. They're surprisingly, you can have a good old little explore. They're surprisingly big, the maps all wander around and have a little explore of. But yeah, you pick sort of like your spot. Then there'll be like a little like table. If you go table, you can go to, and you can then load your plan that you've made, or you can make it there fresh. But you can load it from the planner into the game, and then what it'll then do is it'll basically, by default, what it does is it will mark out on the ground where you need to dig, where you need things. You can actually switch a lot of this off. So by default, it will show you like a hologram showing you where you need to dig the holes and stuff, and it won't let you go beyond that. So if you accidentally dig beyond it, it won't stop you. It won't let you go beyond it. So you can't accidentally make a cock up, basically.
It's God mode.
Yeah, but it's restricted, so you can't fuck it up. So it'll show you like a little like highlighted bit of the ground where you need to dig. If you try and dig anywhere but there, it just won't dig it. So you can't make a mistake. And this is like, you can switch all these functions off, so you can like sort of a bit more freedom. But yeah, basically you follow the plan, and you still so you can like build up, and you can basically take your plan that you've drawn, and you can build it and make it into an actual building, which you can then sort of like, you can watch as it gradually works its way from the ground up to the floor to get the roofs on. You can then decorate it inside. You can like put furniture in it. You can like fit out. You can almost actually design a house in it. It's that sort of detailed. It's really surprisingly good, and it's that sort of like creativity of it. Where you sort of start with nothing and just a little plan, and then just a few hours of work, and you've got an actual house sat in front of you. It's got some little things to make life a little bit easier. So, like I say, you start off from the ground up, and you dig foundations and so forth. There's a few little tricks I'd like to see. I wish you'd done a bit more of. So, when you're like putting mortar on your bricks, you can either like sort of like do like a brick section at a time, or if you right click on your mouse, you get a little mini game come up. And this mini game is like a little wheel that has like a hot point you need to sort of click on. If you succeed, it will basically automatically mortar the whole run for you. So you've got a really long wall. You only have to do one bit. If you pass the mini game, you'll do the entire wall in one hit, which is nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and you have to like mix up. You've got to do things like mix up soil momentum mortar in a cement mixer, put it in a wheelbarrow you can use, and other things is like your trowel, for example, doesn't run out as long as you like the wheelbarrow's got mortar in it. You'll just keep going. It's got some good quality of life stuff in it. It's but yeah, it's just the sort of I just love games where you sort of like start with nothing, you build them up, and get it sort of like a nice sort of it feels like you've done achieved something. It makes me think a bit of another game I played a couple of years ago called House Flipper, which is
I've seen that. I've seen that on Steam.
That's a nice sort of game. That's a great sort of relaxing sort of Sunday afternoon game to play because you basically you have a house, and House Flipper you can't change the outer buildings. You can only change the inner sides, the inner walls and stuff. But you basically
give it paint and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can put new walls up, but you can't change the outer walls of the building.
Yeah.
So whatever the sort of like external walls are, that's the building you're going to work with. But the internal walls, you can do what you like with. You can change them all around. And so going into that and sort of like taking a house that's like in a ruined state, you clean it all out, knock all the walls down, replan it all out, put new walls in, redecorate it, and when you're done you look and go, this looks really good. It's very satisfying. And it's really sort of like, oh, this is it makes you it's something like, oh, this really looks smart. And house, you can sell the house afterwards and people will buy it off you and give you comments and stuff. It's quite fun.
I might have to try that.
a house, yeah, if you want a sort of relaxing game, you want a bit of creativity, it's great for a little bit of creativity. It's a bit like sort of like Minecraft is. It's all similar thing because it allows you sort of a bit of freedom and stuff, and you can sort of like, oh, I fancy that sort of range of units and stuff. You can really sort of like, it's really neat. It's a neat little game to pick. I mean, building simulators like £1.50 at the moment on CD keys. It's dirt cheap.
Wow.
Yeah. I got it through Humble Bundle. Because I've got a Humble subscription. And yeah, it's really neat. Like I said, I've not got a chance to play around much with the decorating mode, but it's got some really smart things in it. So, like, it knows when it can tell where boundaries of a room are. So if you want to put flooring down, you can basically set it so it'll just do the entire room, but it won't like spill out. So you can you can quickly lay a floor down a room and stuff, which is quite neat. I haven't got many gripes with it. I would like to be more than my first goal is I'd like to be able to do more than 2 floors. I'd like to be able to go like, build a sort of like tower block type thing. I'd like to be able to do. There's one character in it called he's a little robot. It looks like a cement mixer. He's got a little town, and he's called Bill Durr. Bild. He is fucking irritating to hell. His voice is so irritating. So I actually went and muted the voice acting in it. I went and just turned the voice volume down to 0 because it's just it's so painful to listen to. It's got they've tried to, and you've not played Borderlands, this won't mean anything to you, but there's a character in Borderlands called Claptrap, who's a little robot dude who is basically things have happened to him and he's slightly mad. He's like sort of he's like gone slightly insane, and and they've tried to sort of emulate his voice and emulate his sort of character a bit, but they failed miserably and just made this really irritating character. And he talks to you. And not only does he talk to you like for the tutorial. He's also, if you do contract mode, he'll also talk to you throughout the contract mode. Every time it's all like start a mission, he'll give you like a little briefing on it. So yeah, I had to mute him. I just could not stand listening to him. Fucking hell. I really hated that character. Really hated it. Oh my word. I almost thought that if I couldn't have muted his voice, I'd probably stop playing the game. He was that irritating.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, it was awful. I've never met a character so annoying.
It's like now the game devs, they have to be wary of their voice actors as well. Yeah, dude, you can't get this job. You sound annoying.
It's also been purposely chosen like that way. I'm not sure. I think there's a certain thing I find with like these style games where they like have a sidekick who does really shitty puns, and these are all really shit. And oh yeah, Fucking irritating as hell. Fortunately, you can mute him, which is always fair. You can pretend he doesn't exist. Or you can't quite get rid of him completely, because when you complete if you do contract mode, when you complete a contract, it will he'll go yeehaw at the end of it. So fuck off, mate, fuck off. Oh, another little annoying thing about that is the game is slightly bugged on its saving. Well, it's not bugged. It's clearly not been designed to do it. So when you complete a contract, it'll take rather than taking you back to the contract. So you have like you go to game modes, then contracts, and there's your contracts. When you complete a contract, rather than taking you back to that screen where the contracts are, so you can just go straight to the next one, it takes you back to the main screen. But then at the top of the menu, there'll be the continue button. Now, if you click the continue button, you'd think it would continue with the next contract. It doesn't. It loads the last save, which is the previous contract you've just completed. So you end up going backwards. Yeah.
That's annoying.
That's very annoying, very stupid. Because you automatically think, "Oh, continue. That's what I want to do." But you're not continuing. You have to go into the contract. You have to go into contract mode and then select the next contract along. So that is a bit annoying. But like I say, to be honest, contract mode, I wouldn't play it for that. It's far more fun to just spend like an hour designing a building and getting it how you want it to be, and then to jump in and then have the fun of building it up from scratch to nothing. There's nothing quite like that sort of funness. And sort of like, yeah, I mean, you could just like design if you want. Its scale goes down to like an individual unit is 250 millimeters, so a quarter of a meter, which is fairly small. So you could actually design. You could probably design. Well, I could certainly replicate my house in it. Easy enough. It's close enough that I could do it. It wouldn't be spot on, but it'd be pretty close. I'm sure you probably do your flat in there if you wanted to. It's accurate enough. You could. It's fine enough detail. You could do it. It wouldn't be spot on, but probably pretty close. That's sort of a neat thing to do. So yeah, it's if you like these sort of random simulator games, it's actually a really fun one because there's so many steps to it. A lot of simulator games tend to be very sort of like House Flipper. Your interactions are basically you can knock a wall down, you can paint the walls, and put some furniture in. That's sort of your limit, really. Whereas this is actually so many steps to. It's not a quick process because you have to do your foundations, you have to do your walls, you have to do your windows, you have to do your doors, you have to do your plastering, you have to do your insulation, you have to do your roof, you have to do stairways. You've got stairways in it. So many steps through it that it makes it feel like a really decent, in-depth game mode, really. So yeah, like I say, if you like a sort of game, I think it's definitely of the simulator genre, it's definitely one that's worth picking up.
And for £1.5,
£1.50 at the moment off CD keys.
That's a bargain for a game.
It is an absolute bargain on CD. Yeah, it is an absolute bargain. It'd be what would be really cool is if it had like a co-op mode. And you and your mates get together and you could like just work together on a building. It's like building a house. Yeah,
that would be cool.
That would be. And because it'd be like Euro Truck Simulator. It's a game where you just sort of chill out, and I can just see like one person like, oh, I'll do the walls, and I'll start if you start laying I'll start installing the windows while you're doing the walls and that. So I can just see that all sort of happening and stuff, and sort of like working together.
Yeah.
Stopping for a cup of tea every now and again.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be neat. So, but yeah, I had a look at the devs, what they do. They've got quite a few simulator games out. They've got like Bakery Simulator and all sorts of things. And they've also got, and their next game is completely different. Their next game is called Chernobyl Liquidators, where you play a liquidator in Chernobyl, which is a slight change.
What is a liquidator?
Liquidators were... When the Chernobyl accident happened, the Chernobyl accident, happened. They had to send people in to basically clear up the mess, and they tried to do stuff with robots. They did as much as they could with machinery and stuff, but there came a point where you had to send actual people had to go in and clear like one of the roofs and stuff and so forth. And famously, there's a roof that they could only be on for 2 minutes, and that was it.
Okay,
that was once they'd done their 2 minutes. That was it. They were done. Completely, because the amount of radiation they'd be exposed to, if they stayed any longer, they probably die, Well, they'd not die, but they'd be a good chance they'll get some severe side effects from it. And
Yeah.
these people were called liquidators.
All right.
If you ever watched the HBO Chernobyl series,
No.
you need to watch HBO Chernobyl. You need to watch that.
All
That
right.
is really good. It's harrowing. It's quite harrowing in places, but it's a really good series. They do a great job of making like the Chernobyl reactor almost like a personality. They make it feel like this sort of eldritch abomination. Honestly, it's on I think it's on Amazon if you've got Amazon.
All right.
But yeah, you need to. That's a good series to watch. So give that if I was you, I'd give that a shout.
I might give that a go.
Yeah, it's only 6 parts. It's not very long. It's about 6-hour episodes, 6 1-hour episodes. It's not very long.
Yeah.
And basically, it's sort of like actually tell it's 5. And it's interesting because they deal with like each episode. So the first episode is like what the sort of like minutes after the explosion, or like sort of minutes and hours after the explosion. The next episode is like the days after the explosion. The third episode is like the weeks after the explosion. The fourth is like the months, and then the last episode is like the inquest, where they work out what happened. And it's a really interesting series. They show you like sort of all parts. It's based on a couple of books. One which is basically where this person went around and interviewed a lot of Chernobyl survivors who were there, and he interviewed them all and got their sort of what their point of view, what happened and what they did and so forth. So a lot of storylines, side stories are based on them. And it's also based on the lead investigator. He left a load of the sort of like main guy who's investigating it, who eventually actually committed suicide like a few years later. He left a load of tapes, recordings of like what he discovered, what he did there, and what they had to do, and so forth. And it's based on him as well. So, yeah, give that a shout as well. Actually, you like sci-fi, don't you? You're into your sci-fi.
Yes.
Right. Have you seen? I don't know if you have Apple TV.
We have Apple TV here, but I don't have it.
Oh, right.
I'm not paying for it at least.
Oh, that's a pity. I don't think you have any Apple devices to get a 3-month trial on it.
Yeah, I did, and when I got my iPhone 14, isn't it? I think this is a 14. When I bought that, I activated it 3 months, and I never got to watch anything.
Oh mate, oh shame. Well,
I know there's one called Foundation or something like that on there.
Yeah, I've not watched that yet, but one I do recommend off there actually is a series called Silo.
Yeah, I've seen that. I went on there and watched a bunch of trailers, but I think I saw the trailer for that one.
Oh, that's really good. I literally binge watched it in 2 days. That's
how many?
Really
10
episodes.
So one season.
Yeah, at the moment there's only one season been released. There's another season coming, but won't be probably till next year because they got delayed due to the writers' strike.
Oh yeah.
But it's a real interesting.
Silo.
Yeah, it's a real interesting sort of post-apocalyptic. It's about these people who live in this ginormous underground base. Really, they call it the silo because it's like 144 layers high, and they live in this base. And basically, the outside world is destroyed, and they have like a punishment. If someone ever expresses desire to leave the silo, they get the desire, they get to leave out, but they can't come back, and they're basically set in there. What they have to do is they've got to go out and like clean the sensors. Mm-hmm. So there's like a sensor which is just a camera that's like filming the outside world and shows desolate, and these people go outside and clean the sensor, but then normally within 2 or 3 minutes they die. They sort of choke to death and die. And it starts off because it's based on what was initially a short story that then got fleshed out into other books. So it starts off initially following like the sheriff whose wife goes outside, who decides to go outside, whose wife goes outside like a year. Prior to the episode, she goes outside like a year, 2 years before he does. And she goes out, cleans the sensor, and he decides to follow her out, and then the episode sort of jumps back in time and shows why she decided to go outside, and then why he went outside. But when he goes outside, he basically hands off his sheriff, who wants to be his next sheriff, off to like this random person, like at the bottom of the silo, like it's all like their underclass, because they have like they have like a 3-tier sort of society. You've got the up top people, and you got the mids, and you got the down deep, which like all the people, the mechanical people and stuff who look after him. I mean, it's not like a full class stuff. There's definitely a sort of like looking up and down, and she basically starts to investigate why he decided to go outside and sort of like tries to figure out what's going on with the silo and stuff. And like technology is bad. There's like anything that's like old tech is banned. They have tech, so basically they have no records of what happened before. There's like 140 year, previously there was a rebellion, 140 years prior to the series, where they just lost all their knowledge. They lost everything.
Wow.
And for reasons they're not quite clear, they've banned all old stuff. So if you come across like old stuff that's prior to the rebellion, it's banned because they don't want to risk starting another one. So people like to all trade. They call them relics, and people will trade in these relics back and forth. They'll find like old little scraps of humanity. There's like they'll find like a watch from like before thing and stuff, and it's sort of exploring why these relics are good and bad and what's about them, and sort of like how they basically lead people to want to leave, basically, and sort of debate. And it's also debate what's going on outside. It's a really good series.
I need to check that because I need a new like sci-fi to watch. I've gone back to watching. Well, I'm a huge Stargate fan.
Oh mate, yes, Stargate.
So I have them all.
But mate, love it.
I've started watching Stargate Atlantis again.
Oh mate, I love Stargate.
Stargate, I love that universe. I was so gutted when they decided to cancel the Universe series.
Oh mate, that was really starting to finally get going. You know what they really?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that was a real shame when that disappeared.
And for years now, they've talked about rebooting the series, like the movies, like and do a 3-part movie.
Yeah.
Which I was like, yes, let's do it. But yeah, nothing's going on with the Stargate stuff, and I was like a huge fan of that.
Mate, I love Stargate. Oh yeah, I got into Stargate SG-1 quite late because it was on. I got into Stargate. It was there when I got into SG-1. They're probably on season 7 when I first started watching it. But because in the UK, we had this TV broadcast company called Sky.
Yeah.
And they used to broadcast, and what they used to do is like every sort of like day at 5 o'clock they'd broadcast like some long-range science fiction series. So they used to go through the Star Treks. And they started broadcasting Stargate SG-1. So every day at 5 o'clock was a Stargate episode.
Yeah.
So obviously we could watch that and catch up fairly quickly. And I would literally sit down and watch those. They are brilliant series. And oh mate, I love Stargate. Have you watched the new version of Battlestar Galactica?
I think I have that on. How new is that?
It was early 2000s.
I have that on Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, it's a good series as well.
Yeah, it is. That's really good. What else?
Another sci-fi. Have you ever watched Babylon 5?
Yes.
I like Babylon 5.
What's it called? Farscape?
Oh, Farscape, fucking yeah.
That one was good.
That is really good. Yeah. Oh, brilliant series.
I binged that when I started watching that. I can't remember where there was one streaming service where I could watch the whole thing.
I think Amazon's had it on at one point.
The thing is, like, I've figured out that, like, not figured out. So the streaming services, it's all different. Like what you guys have, we don't have, and vice versa. It's per country. Yeah. It's really messed.
It is, yeah. Farscape is obviously Farscape got what was quite cool about Farscape was when it came into the UK, BBC, our public broadcaster got it. But they got it quite. It already had like 2-3 seasons at this point.
Yeah.
And what they did is BBC were a bit more old fashioned. They broadcast it weekly. Because they broadcast it weekly, we had to catch up like 3 seasons for like a year and a half. Every week there was a Farscape episode.
Yeah.
And again, literally just tuned in to watch that on because this is all pre-streaming days.
Yeah.
And yeah, every week, it's Farscape, and it just seemed to go on forever because we were watching through like 3 seasons basically.
Yeah.
Farscape's one of my favorite science fiction series.
It's really, really good. Yeah. And I was very surprised. I can't remember what she's called, the female lead in that. But when she got the role as one of the leads in SG-1, I believe in season 9.
Claudia Black.
That's her.
Yeah. Oh. I used to have a crush on her as a son when I was young.
Yeah, me too. But when she got that part in SG-1, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Because that was what I was done with watching the Farscape stuff, and then she got into that. I was like, yes.
Yeah. And
awesome.
Is it Ben Bowder? The bloke?
Yeah.
Who played the astronaut in Farscape and then played the sergeant in SG-1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Like little reunion.
Oh yeah, that was him too. Yeah.
Yeah. My first 2 girl sheep I had, the first 2 ewes I had, were named Erin and Vala after both Claudia Black's characters from Farscape and Stargate.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I didn't even remember the names.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Erin's son.
Yeah.
In Farscape and Vala. Then it was Cam Mitchell. Remember, I was Cam Mitchell in Stargate, and he was Jonathan. What was his surname in Farscape? Sorry, he's Cam Mitchell in Stargate. Farscape, he was John. I can't remember his surname.
Dude, your memory is better than mine.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm old and feeble.
Yeah. No, I need to rewatch. I need to go back and rewatch Farscape now.
Yeah. I could actually do that too.
Yeah. Oh. We should just do a series of podcasts where we review all the Star Farscape episodes.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Westworld, the new version of well, I say new version, the TV series Westworld that came out a few years ago?
The thing is, I don't know how many seasons there's, but I've watched season 1.
Season 1, I've not bothered watching. Apparently, season 1 is by far the best. The worst, the best aren't really worth watching.
Yeah.
From what I've heard.
It was, but that was really, really good though.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed that, and I loved the idea. And Anthony Hopkins,
Yeah.
He's an absolutely amazing actor.
He is.
But I think all of them were like, they had a lot of huge actors in that. Well, not a lot. Yeah, they had some. That was awesome.
Have you seen Person of Interest?
Person of Interest, no.
If you want a sci-fi series you want to sort of get your teeth into, Person of Interest is one sort of like, back in the day when they used to do like 22 episode seasons. Person of Interest is a good one to get into. That's
Person of Interest.
That's by the same. I think it's the same guy who went on to do Westworld, did Person of Interest, and it's really neat. It's sort of a it's almost like it's a science fiction. It's a certain modern. It's all like modern day. Well, modern day when it's filmed. But it's interesting because it's about AI. It's all about AI, and it's about this guy develops a computer system that it has access to like all the cameras, all the sort of like people's data, bank accounts stuff, and it analyzes them all, and it crunches numbers, and it will basically occasionally spit out what it calls a person of interest, and this person's either going to be a victim of a crime or going to commit a crime. And basically they try and sort of like work out and it's going to be like sort of quite bad. They have to try and work out how to protect them or stop them. And it's sort of like sort of and it does sort of like ramp that up later on because it's this sort of like I like the way how they do the AI. It's very sort of like the guy who's like sort of like who gets sent off to like do the sort of he's like ex-military and he goes off to do all the like protecting and stuff, and he's got his like sort of like chap at the base who like talks to the machine. It's never quite clear, well at least early on, it's not clear how he sort of gets the information, but he'll come back and stuff. That's a really good series. That ramps up really nicely.
Are we gonna list all these in the show notes, like all
Hell
the
yeah.
ones that we've touched
Hell
upon? Okay,
yeah.
cool. Have you seen on at least this is an Amazon series, so it has to be on the UK Amazon as well. Peripheral.
No, I have not.
You gotta watch that one, dude. That's actually an interesting one. I'm hoping there's gonna. Haven't read up on it, but I'm hoping there's gonna be a season 2 at some point.
Oh, look at that! Have you seen The Expanse on Amazon?
Yes, I didn't finish it. I think I think I need one season to finish it. I think
I need to go back. Because it was like I watched like several seasons. Then there's a big gap between them doing the last seasons, and I want to like start from fresh and go all the way through again. So I want to go before I watch the last couple of seasons. I want to like go back from fresh. But I like The Expanse as well.
That was one of my favorite ones. I don't know why. I think I got busy with all kinds of things, and eventually it's not like I lost interest. It's just there was so much else going on and other things, and then these sci-fi things. These are things I watch on my own. There's no one in this household that likes that kind of stuff. So obviously there's other things I need to watch with with my girlfriend and with my daughter and stuff like that. So yeah, I need to go back and watch it.
You do. I think The Expanse. What the thing about The Expanse is, it's one of those sci-fis that you have to watch. You can't sort of put it on in the background. What sort of makes reason I like sort of like Stargate and Farscape is you can watch them; they're really enjoyable to watch. But you can also have them on while you're doing other things, and sort of have them on in the background, but still be sort of you're still watching, you're still including what's going on. You can that's why they are great. So when I was at university, I used to like have Farscape on. I used to have it on DVDs. I used to sit there and I'd be writing an essay and have Farscape on as well in the background. Yeah, that's what I was all like watching it every now and again. But yeah, I'll get these all listed in the show notes so the people joining can listen. Nick and Ram and Zaber discuss science fiction TV shows.
I just remember now Farscape. I think I bought that on a DVD box set.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but we had this chain of stores in Denmark at one point. They're called the Stereo Studio or something like that. They had like all the cool stuff, like box sets of DVDs of TV shows. And if they didn't have it, and if you couldn't get them anywhere else, you could get them to order them home for you.
Yeah.
So, but they had them, and they had them on sale, and I ended up buying the entire collection of them on DVD.
Yeah, likewise. What in Denmark, are you guys on PAL or NTSC?
We're on PAL.
PAL.
Yeah.
I thought you would be.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think the NTSC isn't that like a US standard?
Yeah, it's US standard. Yeah.
But there was one I wanted to mention. Just can't. I had it on my mind just before when we were talking. That was one I was going to ask you about. God damn it! Have you seen any of the new, like the Star Trek, the Picard one, and the?
Yes. So Picard, I quite enjoyed the first season of Picard, but it went a little bit. I didn't like the ending of it.
All right, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. So Picard, the Picards aren't great. The first season of Picard's okay, but the ending of it, you could tell that the ending. And this is my little conspiracy theory. The ending was planned to end in a certain way, and then once they decide they're going to make another season, they changed it. I think that's a bit. I've got no proof of that. It feels that's what their plan was.
Yeah.
Season 2, I didn't think was that bad. Most people hated it. But season two tried something a little bit different. It tried, but I won't spoil it for you, but it tried some different things. Season 2, and it didn't really succeed that well.
All right.
Season 3, on the other hand, is really good. Season 3 is phenomenally good. It sort of like takes a real big turn, and it sort of like follows up a lot of like other Star Treks. Particularly like it particularly follows up Deep Space Nine in terms of plot points.
All right.
So season 3 is the best out of the 3, and season 3 is the last. Season 3 is the best out of the 3 by far. But yeah, 1 and 2, they're okay. They're okay. They're okay. I would say.
I have them bookmarked on on Amazon Prime, I think, video. It's not. Yeah, it's on there. Yeah.
Yeah, it is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. But I never got around to watching it. What was the one they made before that? Well, I can't remember.
Discovery.
Yeah, that's the one.
I did like Discovery.
I watched the first season and I quite liked it actually.
I struggled to get through. I really struggled to get through the first couple episodes. With all the Klingon nonsense, because they for some reason they decided, let's make the Klingons sound like they've all got a lisp. So every Klingon was just going Kalis, and it was just painful to listen to. Yes,
maybe they did have a lisp. Maybe they did.
They all had a lisp. This is
Maybe they did.
Maybe they did.
Now you're like lisp shaming or something. I don't know.
Well, they're Klingons, so they won't. I'll be dead before we discover them.
Exactly.
So yeah, I did. I think have you seen on again? It's on Amazon. Have you seen Lower Decks? The animation.
No.
That's quite good. That's a that is if you're sort of like into sort of really into Star Trek, that's a worth a watch. It's an animation. It's called Lower Decks because it follows the people who work on this sort of like, because obviously all Star Treks follow like the bridge crew, don't they? They follow the people at the top. Lower Decks is a series based on all the people who work at the bottom, like the low ranking troopers and stuff. People at the bottom. But it's a comedy. But there's a lot of references to other Star Treks and so forth. There's a lot of like, there's so many in jokes of the series, but it's got like it's got some sort of like quite dramatic stuff goes on. There's so many little in jokes that you'll miss if you were casual. You definitely would miss them, or loads of them.
All right.
And it's just all like just general humor. Like there's a guy who's got like he's got the Star Trek Voyager collectible plates, and he wants to get one signed by Tom Paris. So it's all that sort of stuff. That's a worth a shot. Look.
I might have to give that a shot too.
Yeah, that's quite good.
That's a good thing about the show notes. I can always go back and watch the show notes. Be like, that's the one we talked about.
Yeah, I'll have to listen back to this. Just like show note. There's gonna be lots of show notes for this one.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll get them all put into show notes so you can have a little repertoire. And anyone who's listening can have a little selection to listen to enjoy.
Yeah.
So
hopefully next time I'll have played some games. Dude, a game came out that just completely, I was unaware of. I was completely unaware of this game coming out. So remember I told you that me and Victoria, we went through, my daughter Victoria, we went through the Like a Dragon, Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
Yes.
A new one's just come out. Again.
That one didn't come out that long ago, did it?
No, but this one is like so. Yeah, this ties into like what I said. There was like the first Like a Dragon game where you played another character called Ichiban. The main character of the other games, Kiryu, which it was again he he had faked his death. He was then back in the Man Who Erased His Name game. Now in the new one, those two team up, like Ichiban and Kiryu. They team up to like fight something as well. And I didn't know that was coming. Like I don't know. I don't check up on game news, so I didn't know. I was like,
Yeah.
it's come out. It's insanely expensive though,
Yeah.
and it's not part of the Game Pass. So I was like, fuck.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh.
So saving up money to get that game, so we can play that and talk
Yeah.
about that too.
Yes. We'll also possibly next time we can talk about what we've been playing for games like maybe because we'll put a few hours in by that point.
Yeah. We can talk about that game next time.
Yeah,
you know?
but we'll do. We'll do.
So for those who've watched the games night stuffs, they know which game it is. Those who listen to the podcast, they won't know. They're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Ha! So way to force people to go watch the game night stuff
Exactly.
on the YouTubes.
That's the plan. That's the plan. So speaking of games night, you can check out and join us on our next game night, which will be on the 15th of February, 2030 GMT. You can check that out here on the Twitch Rando's Twitch channel, and also my personal channels, which is twitch.tv/Suffolk. And our next podcast will be on the Games Night's on the 14th of February because I'm looking at the wrong number on my calendar. I was looking at Thursdays, not Wednesdays. Games Night's on the 14th of February. Next podcast is on the 15th of February at 18:30 GMT. Again, check that out here on YouTube, youtube.com/randnerds, all our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/randnerds. You can also check out our website, randnerds.co.uk, which will have all the next podcasts or link will be on there as well, so you can watch it through that.
Also, check out YouTube. Tons of Red Nerds videos on there.
There's loads of game. Or you can check out the games night and see what we've been playing and know in advance for our next discussion, as well as all loads of other games night where we play enormous games and there's let's plays on there, there's a few reviews, and of course this podcast going back nearly 11 years on there as well. So we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. So for me, the Suffolk Ram.
Zabermoul.
We'll see you in a fortnight.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.